Hi, I'm very excited to bring you this session today. And I've caveated it with other opinions are available. So I want to talk today about what I feel is the most important metric on LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you 10 ways to improve it for free. But other people may not feel like this is the most important metric on LinkedIn. However, just to give you a little bit of context, if you don't know me, I spent the last 5 years training business owners on how to use LinkedIn to generate leads for their businesses. And before that, teaching internal recruiters and talent attraction managers how to use LinkedIn to attract candidates. And now I am working with internal teams and brands on the candidate attraction and still running my LinkedIn training business. So there's quite a bit going on, but it's all very LinkedIn centric. So when I say other opinions are available, what I mean is I know that there's loads of different ways to use LinkedIn. There's loads of things that people think are really important on LinkedIn. But for me, in my experience, having coached and trained thousands of people, tens of thousands of people on LinkedIn, what I do know is what I teach works for the majority of people. But there's also a minority of people who think everything I do and say is utter rubbish. And I should be, in fact, I was very recently called an idiot for saying you should post regularly, daily on LinkedIn. Anyway, so just that bit out of the way, I wanted to get straight into it really. So most important thing for me on LinkedIn, the most important metric that I look at on LinkedIn, and I'm using LinkedIn every single day to generate leads for my business. And the most important metric for me is definitely not likes, comments, and engagements, right? That is not what I focus on at all. Hold on, I'm on the wrong thing. What I focus on is how can I get as many people as possible, this is my LinkedIn, to here. So what I want, there's me going live, what I want is as many people as possible to come here and read this. So this currently is all about candidate attraction. And my aim on LinkedIn is for as many people as I can possibly get to come and look at this piece of copywriting, basically, which talks directly to my ideal client for this business. And it explains why we have got a solution for it, what outcomes we deliver, who I am, and all the rest of it, and what I'd like them to do next. That's what I want. I want to generate as much traffic. And I have used that word all of my LinkedIn training experience live, because when I first started using LinkedIn, I was very into social media, and particularly things like how social media drove traffic to websites and got people to take action. So it's all about driving the right traffic to this bit of content for me. Nothing else matters. Likes, comments, engagements, reach, fine, it's great, it looks great, it feels great. But what really matters for me is, am I driving traffic here? And obviously, ultimately, are people messaging me and saying, hi, Helen, how can we work together? Now, the most important metric that I'm looking at here in the analytics section is this number here. This to me, and you can see it's down 42% from last week because it's been the bank holiday weekend. This profile views here is almost always hovers around the 5,000 mark for me. Now, the more active I am on LinkedIn, the more I do the things I'm going to talk about today, the more this number goes up. This is the most important metric on LinkedIn, because this means that people are coming to look at your profile. And obviously you can see who these people are, and when you've got premium, you can look at who all these people are and all the rest of it. It's not so much who, it's the volume for me. The more I know, the more I can get that number up, the more people message me to buy my stuff. And that's really what I use LinkedIn for. It's a lead generation platform. Yeah, I love it for all its, networking and all the good things about LinkedIn as well. But crucially, I'm not bothered by all the negative things about LinkedIn. Don't really care about people posting nonsense. I don't really care what people post. I don't care about spammers or sleazy DMers. All that stuff doesn't really interest me, affect me. All I'm focused on when I'm on LinkedIn, whether I'm helping somebody to attract candidates, when I'm helping someone to get clients, is this number for them. And that's the number I want them to go up and up and up. Just with a client before, she's hovering around the 49.50 mark here. So there's plenty of work to do, but everyone's numbers are different. And you're only really competing against this number, against yourself, about being consistent. And this is the most important thing about driving this traffic, is to be consistent. As you can see, I've not been consistent over the bank holiday weekend, and it's right down. But what I really like about it is that this graph, when you're looking at using LinkedIn to attract, to grow and attract an audience, is this graph doesn't lie. And the more of the activity that I talk about today you do, the more this graph will look better and it'll be going in the right direction. The more this graph is going in the right direction, the more likely you are to attract great candidates, to attract great clients, to get noticed by the right people. Whatever it is that you want to use LinkedIn for, it comes down to, in my opinion, others are available, this number, getting this number up and getting it consistent, and making it really clear that the more activity you do, this obviously, you can see here, this is obviously a week I was really putting it in, the more you'll see that go up. So it's really good when it comes to LinkedIn and you feel like, I think, LinkedIn's not really working for me. It is working. You can see here it's working if you are being consistent and doing some of the things I'm going to talk about today. So hopefully that makes sense to get there yourself. If you click on this button top left, you go to the LinkedIn button, go to your profile, scroll down, and it should be in here. Whether you got premium or not, it should tell you this number here. And this is the graph that for me is the most important thing, much more important than likes, shares, comments, reach, and all that jazz that I think, again, rightly or wrongly, a lot of other people focus on, that's the important metric. And I know a lot of people in my world are like, how am I going to get more engagement? How am I going to get more reach? Actually, how I'm going to get that number up is much more, it's much more important for me to actually go to go in and do the work. So I've just seen some of the content. Some people couldn't see me. Hopefully I'm back in business now. If I'm not, don't worry. We'll be back. I'm recording this, so we'll be able to post it again. Okay, so 10 things. Number one thing to do on LinkedIn, every day, add new people. Like, search for and ask to connect with people every single day. Now, I recommend 10 a day. LinkedIn doesn't like you to connect with too many people, but ask to connect with people every single day will automatically grow your audience and will automatically get more people looking at your profile. And like I said, Victoria, the important thing we want people to do is come to your about page, the bit in your profile that talks about who you are, what clients you want to work with, how you help people, and all that stuff. But you can go to my profile and have a look at your leisure to see how I copyright that bit of content. Again, there's loads of different ways to do it. That's just the way that works for me, and that's the way that we teach it. So number one, add people. Find people and ask to connect with them. I don't write personalized connection requests. My headline does the talking for me. Some people accept, some people reject, and that is absolutely up to them. I do not concern myself with other people's opinions of my approach. I just ask to connect with people every single day. Some people accept, some people don't. Some of you will have accepted recently, some of you will have accepted a long time ago. But accepting more people means more people are going to see your stuff, more people are going to come and look at your profile. So number one is add people. Number two is to use other social media. So for this number two specifically, I'm talking about Facebook. So using Facebook, if you have a Facebook account, obviously if you can't, you don't, to post about, this is my LinkedIn profile, come and have a look at it, come and connect with me on here, who else has got LinkedIn, and take some of the people that follow you on Facebook or your friends with on Facebook and get them to come and follow you and connect with you on LinkedIn as well. Number three would be to have your LinkedIn URL as your contact me thing. So when people say, how do I contact you? It's like, find me on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn, come and connect with me on LinkedIn, and just constantly be driving people to come and connect with you on LinkedIn, where your profile should be talking to your ideal clients and really drilling down into the niche that you're in and the outcomes that you deliver and how you do that. So it should be, you want to be driving as much traffic as possible. So have it as almost like your call to action when people say, how can we connect? LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Number four is a bit left field, but have a QR code for your LinkedIn and have that on your business cards and your promotional materials. I'm getting really into the offline space at the moment. We've been back in business, going to recruitment fairs, or, pounding the streets, doing the talk, speaking to people like old school. And I'm absolutely loving it. And it's kind of like, how can you get people out of that environment into your LinkedIn? And that comes down to QR codes on your, your promotional material or your business card, or of course, asking people for their LinkedIn when you meet them at an event, etc. So I thought that was a bit of a left field one, but having a QR code for your LinkedIn could work really well. Just driving traffic all counts, right? And then number 5 was about, I've actually made some notes, which very unusual for me. Number 5 was collecting all the business cards. This again has come from the old school work that we've been doing recently. So when you're out and about, you're at an event, you're at a conference, when you're seeing people and you do collect business cards, networking events, you do still connect. I know that everyone's like, oh, they're dying out, but my experience was, it's great for us to go with business cards, give them out, and it's great to get lots of business cards. But make sure when you get your business cards, or if you've got a pile of old business cards, you go through and you connect with all the people on LinkedIn. Now, in this case, I do write a personalized connection request. I'll say, hi, I met you at the Manchester Recruitment Fair. That's it. But I would, if I've got a specific reason to say why I want to, why they would know me, might put that in there. Don't always, but could do. Number 6, going to Instagram now. And I go, not everyone's got Instagram, but having it as your contact me link, you're allowed one link on Instagram. Having that as your LinkedIn will drive that traffic again from another platform through to your LinkedIn. So you might be on Instagram talking about loads of different stuff for your business, but you want people to come to LinkedIn when it's time to do a deal, right? So have that as you contact you on Instagram. And you can also have it in your, I think it's your link tree. Again, I'm not an Instagram expert, but you get the gist. Number 7 is an oldie but a goodie, and one that I think we might forget about, but have your LinkedIn as at the bottom of your email. So your email signature, make sure it's in there so people will see it and click on it when you're sending them emails, because you want to drive traffic to that profile so people can see that copy that you've written, or you should have written. If you want to help writing it, let me know. Number 8. Now, this is one that I teach to my audience when it's business owners who are looking for leads, is I talk about going into other people's Facebook groups, networking groups, business groups, might be, say, for example, you're in a HR managers group, going in there and doing a post and saying, hi, I've just redone my LinkedIn. Come and have, could you come and either connect with me on there? Let me know what your LinkedIn is. I'll connect with you, or ask for critique in business groups, saying, could you come and have a look at my LinkedIn? It's just going to drive traffic from other corners of the internet right through to your profile, which is what we want. And also, as a bonus one, make sure you've got it on your website so people can come and find you from your website as well. You want to keep bringing it all in, so making sure there's always that flow of people coming to LinkedIn. Right, on LinkedIn itself, if you know me, you'll know these two, but commenting on other people's posts on LinkedIn. Just being nice and friendly and looking at what they're posting about and engaging on that piece of content. You don't need to put an insightful comment. You don't need to add value. You definitely don't need to turn the conversation back to what you're doing, whether you're recruiting or whether you're looking for leads. Support what they're doing. It's like, this is a great post. I thought it was really insightful. Thanks, Dave. Or I've just been doing them with a client today because she was like, I'm just freezing. I don't know what to write. So we actually did it together. And she was like, oh, it's so much easier with you here. Because I was like, yeah, how does that post make you think or feel? And she was like, oh, yeah, I really like it because of this. All right, that's your comment. So she's like, oh, just do the comment, move on to the next one, move on to the next one, move on to the next one. That, if you do that every single day, and that's the thing I've not been doing over Easter, which is why my stats have gone down by 46%, will drive traffic, and you will see the evidence very quickly. I always talk about, I used to talk about 15 to 20 minutes a day, but now I talk about 30 comments a day. And I literally, with my client, went through as we were talking, and as she was doing them, I was like, right, like, do the bars. And I was like, right, you've done your 30 now. And she was like, wow, went really quickly. It was like 5-10 minutes. but that's 30 people, 30 posts where her name and crucially her headline are going to be seen. So, you know, it just makes a massive difference. And then finally, this is the one I got called an idiot for recently. Post regularly on LinkedIn. I advise, other opinions are available, that you post something each day, at least. You want to post more? For me, you can, because I'm not bothered about the algorithm. I'm bothered about people coming to look at my profile. So when I talk about 4 pillars of content and I talk about putting out stories, video, social proof, and call to action, and doing polls and doing LinkedIn events, to me, it's like, why would I want to spread all that out over months just so I get more reach? Whereas I'd rather put loads of content out and then more people are going to see, like, people will see my content. Maybe not as many if I was, you know, spread it out or did all these, like, you know, algorithm hacks or whatever. But actually, I'm a business owner. I want to be on LinkedIn. If I'm in the zone, I want to be posting a lot. If I've got a lot of things to say, I want to post a lot. You know, there's no, to me, and again, I've been doing this for a long time, there's no real difference to me posting once and then having a break, other than the less I post, the less traffic I get to that landing page. So for me, the more I post, the more engagements I do, the more traffic I get, the more leads I get. It's a very, very simple equation, because I don't care about engagement and I don't care about reach. What I care about is, am I being consistent? Am I showing up regularly? Is that number being consistent? So it's consistently at 5,000, and it will be by the end of this week, I'm sure. Not this week, it's tomorrow, but, you know, by the end of next week, when I'm back on it, you know, and I'm on there every day and I'm engaging and I'm genuinely interested in the content that I'm reading. You know, I'm not just putting great post. I'm like looking at what people are saying, how people are feeling, what people are talking about, and I'm just commenting, you know, and that really does start to drive traffic, and you'll see the evidence. That's why I love this stuff, because you'll see the evidence. Right, so my 10, number 1, is to ask people to connect with you every day on LinkedIn. So search for ideal clients or ideal candidates and ask 10 people to connect with you each day. They can always say no, and we don't get caught up in it. Whether if we write personalized connection requests, they might more likely. We don't worry ourselves with that. We just ask 10 people to connect. We don't write a personalized connection request because we don't know them, but we can see that they fit a certain criteria. For example, I won't share my screen again because I don't think it worked very well last time, but mine, if you go to my profile, it's, I don't know, LinkedIn/in/Helen Tudor, I presume, or it might be Helen Pritchard, sure, I don't know. But when you go to it, you will find that, you know, when you look at it, you can see my headline talks to my ideal clients. So I think at the moment it says helping internal recruiters. So every day I'm searching for internal recruiters and I'm asking to connect with them. Because if they see their job title in my headline, they're obviously more likely to at least look at it. So they look at it, and they do, because I can see on my stats and on my who's viewed me. They click through to me, they come to read my profile, they accept or reject, and that's on them. You know, I'm not here to worry about whether people want to connect with me or not. I'm just here to do my admin job, which is to ask 10 people to connect every day. Number 2 is using Facebook. So posting on your Facebook and talking about it on your personal Facebook and any business pages that you've got to drive traffic that way. Number 3 is having it as your contact you pretty much everywhere you go, including on your website. Number 4 was about creating a QR code for your business cards when you're out and about, so people can get to it easily and connect with you, but at least asking people to connect with you on LinkedIn all the time. Number 5 was about collecting business cards yourself and following up and saying we met at this event. Just being, again, this is all admin really, but it just genuinely works and turns into great business and obviously money in the end, which is fab. So I don't mind doing the admin, right? Because it all pays off. Number 6 was having it as your link on Instagram and on your link tree and putting it in, you know, your Instagram stories and things like that. Number 7 was having it at the bottom of your email. Again, it's old school, but hey, I'm old school, right? Number 8, asking for critiques in business groups and posting about in Facebook groups that you're in and asking other people if they're on LinkedIn and just looking to build your social networks that you have on Facebook and try and move them over onto LinkedIn as well. Number 9 was commenting on people's stuff every day, 30 times a day. Takes you 5-10 minutes, something like that. Not overthinking it, but, you know, just how does this post make me think and feel? I'm just going to put that. Pretty simple. Number 10 is post regularly and consistently. So the more you post in my experience and my opinion, other opinions of which are available, the more you post, the more people come to your profile, the more people come to your profile, the more people message you and ask to work with you. That is just my experience. Questions: does Facebook and Instagram dislike LinkedIn links? I don't know. And also, who cares? Do they restrict your reach? We don't really know. Don't really care, because if you put in a Facebook group that you're already in, this is my LinkedIn, and people come to you, they'll come to you, and you're allowed to post a LinkedIn link. It's not against the law. They might not like it. They might not, they might not like the algorithm. I might not like it, but until I'm a qualified computer engineer who understands algorithms, I'm just going to keep posting my LinkedIn everywhere, telling people to come and follow me on LinkedIn, having it as my call to action everywhere I go and everything that I do. And ultimately, when I'm on LinkedIn, being really active, engaging, and focusing on supporting other people's content and putting out some content of my own without obsessing over how's this going to be received, how's this reach going to go, how much engagement am I going to have? Because to me, it's not about reach and engagement and comments and likes. It's about, does this drive more traffic to my who's viewed me and more to my page? Then yes or no. The more active I am, do I get more on that metric? Does that metric go up? Is that graph going up? Is that percentage going up? Is it green every time? If it is, I'd say you're doing the right things. We could really obsess and I see these debates raging, obviously, but we don't really know. We're probably never going to know. So let's just focus on, if we do these things and we do it every day. I've been being active on LinkedIn pretty much every day for 10 years. I get 5,000 views. I've come up in 2,000 searches. It's just about consistency and showing up, knowing your ideal client, talking to your ideal client in your headline and your profile, asking to connect with your ideal client, and then doing this activity and bringing in, from, other areas, other corners, if you like, offline, online, email, website, so other social media platforms. And really, it works if that metric is going up. Definitely. That's why I just love it. Very, very simple. So a couple of questions. So I can't see everyone's names, but I regularly get crickets on my content, but the lurkers still DM me. That's what it's all about, right? A client said to me, you don't get much this on Facebook. You don't get much engagement on your post, saying, who wants to come to Mastermind Day? And I was like, yeah, but I had 5 DMs. That's all that matters to me. Are people messaging me? Am I making money from this platform? Yes. No. I could have 1 million views and no leads. It doesn't, it's not the metric that I'm interested in. I'm interested in getting that profile number up. Patrick, if your graph isn't shown, it might be because I've got premium. It could be that. It might not. I don't know. It might be worth someone to look at. Do LinkedIn shadow ban? Yes, they definitely do. But how do we know how it works? We don't really. So we just focus on showing up and doing the work. That's why I always say connect with 10 people a day. We don't go wild. We don't want people getting restricted and things like that. Hi, Helen. I followed your advice on LinkedIn with great results. Thanks. I don't know who you are, sorry, because it just says Facebook user. But does the same apply to Facebook? I've accepted nearly 200 connection requests today, and they seem to be fairly poor quality. Thank you. Yeah, so Facebook is very similar in a lot of ways. What's better about LinkedIn in loads of ways, but it's that bit of copy that you can write. If you think about your Facebook profile, it's like one tiny bit and a couple of lines. Absolutely, yeah. Facebook, if you're engaging on other people's stuff and you are commenting and you're in groups and you're being really active, then people are going to come and look at your profile. And your profile should say, this is who I am, and this is who I help, this is what outcomes I deliver, and this is how I do it, right? Same as your headline on LinkedIn. But Facebook, you can't see what people do. So you can't see what people do. So you could search, but who would you search for, right? LinkedIn, we can search by job title, we can search by area. We can be a lot more concise with our searching, which means that the people we ask them to connect with are usually much higher quality. So I would say that the engagement and the posting definitely works on Facebook. And again, I personally not interested in the engagement that I get. I'm concerned with the engagement I'm doing, because that leads to people messaging me, DMing me, and people, they don't comment a lot on my stuff. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if you're not emotionally attached to it, it's much easier. If your business doesn't live and die by, not like engagements don't pay my mortgage. So all I care about is the more I post, the more consistent I am, the more value I bring, the more personal stuff I share. That's controversial on LinkedIn, but I love it. The more people come to view my profile, probably on Facebook, but I can't check because it hasn't got the same capability as LinkedIn has to check that that's going up. The more people message me and ask to work with me. So yeah, I think it does apply. A lot of this does apply on Facebook, yeah. But LinkedIn is just so concise and clean with this stuff. And just, I love it, obviously. I love LinkedIn. It's been my life's work, right? What's your thoughts on pinning an intro post on LinkedIn? Yes, so the profiles that we teach, so are you this person? Do you feel this way? Are these things happening? Do you want these things to happen? If so, this is what we do, this is how we help, this is why it's us, this is why it's me, and all that kind of stuff. That piece of content, if you like, I would always suggest copy and pasting that as a post, and then having that, and then cropping bits of it and having it as multiple posts. And then, yes, having one almost like killer intro post that you then top right buttons have as your featured post. But I would also have some kind of testimonial on there, the featured carousel as well, some kind of tips and advice. I'll probably put this on my LinkedIn featured profile. So for me, it's kind of like, yeah, put some killer posts out and then have them as your featured, something that's not going to age, that's not like, I know I did a with a Christmas tree in the background and I tried to reuse it in July and everyone was like, and I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't really work. So as long as it's kind of what we would call evergreen content, then yeah, have it pinned, definitely. So LinkedIn are definitely shadow banning, gender critical and checking Twitter accounts, maybe. I mean, again, I don't concern myself with that. It's not something that's, it doesn't, it's irrelevant when it comes from me getting leads from LinkedIn. It might be relevant if you've got a specific type of business, of course. But again, we probably don't know. A lot of it is guess. Unless you're, like I say, a software engineer that works at LinkedIn, it's very unlikely that you'll have the inside track. But a lot of people like to speculate on it, which is fine. I've just added a LinkedIn link to my email signature. Thanks for the tip. I know it's so simple, right? But it was kind of like, oh yeah, forgot like the basic housekeeping, definitely. So yeah, just think about how you can get your LinkedIn profile into places, into conversations, have it as your call to action, and just bring all your communities together and bring everyone to LinkedIn, which should be really focused on your business, focused on how you help people and show people who you are and what you do. And over time, that's the thing, guys. This isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term play. Over time, people will see you as the go-to person to solve their specific problem. And if you've been around a while, they will trust that you're going to be there for a while, which makes them more likely to reach out to you. So hopefully some of that was useful. I know some of this is going into my membership, and I know you guys probably were ready for a little reminder. And some people have maybe just new to me, so you might be thinking, what on earth are you going on about? So I hope that's useful. I think it's nothing that I've not said before, it's double negative, but I think it's absolutely vital that you focus on that metric and to almost like cut out all the rest of the noise and just focus on that. Is that going up? Good. If it's not, do something different. Right, lots of love. Have an amazing afternoon. Bye, guys.